Hey guys, Drew McKenzie here with Hyperformance Athletics. Today we're going to teach you how to squat. So one of the biggest things that we see in our gym from an athletic development standpoint, and as like a foundational movement for everything, is the squat, the basic squat. So we're going to teach you guys today the bare bones movement standard for our squat, kind of why things work. And this is the default no matter what other type of squat you're doing. Back squat, front squat, overhead squat, anything that has the word squat in it, this is the default movement. So first I want you to think about your body as a one big piece, like one big steel rod, all right? I want you to think about, before you even start to squat, how you have to start to brace yourself in order to get ready for the squat. We see a lot of times people when they first learn how to squat, so I'm going to turn sideways here, when they first learn how to squat, everything from the lower half is great, but then they show us this rounded back position as they start to get down to the bottom of the squat. And we know that that's not right. All right? It just doesn't look right. All right? If you get this great butt back position, but your back starts around like you're a dog pooping in the woods, then we know just from looking at it, it doesn't quite look right. It doesn't look nearly as pretty as an upright torso. All right, so when we start teaching our squats, we want to relate it to something that is applicable across anything you do. All right, in sport, okay, so we link everything kind of to sport in here in Hyperformance, sport is always played with your chest up. All right, there's not a single sport in the entire world that plays with your chest down. All right, if I'm playing here in a very bad position, I can't see anything. I can't see the field of action. I can't see what's going on around me at all. So we promote a vertical torso in here when we do our squats. So how to brace that vertical torso when you start to squat is we're going to teach you this real quick bracing technique. Is I want you to try to pull your rib cage down onto your belly button. Okay, so instead of sitting here with a nice proud chest, pull my rib cage down. All right, so almost like you're trying to take a poop, pull down. All right, then I want you to take your belly button and try to drive your belly button through your spine. All right, so I've got a nice tight trunk here. Notice I didn't say core because that sounds like an apple. Apples are dumpy, but I said trunk because that's like a tree. And trees are like super powerful, super strong. All right, so I'm pulling that rib cage down, belly button through my spine. I'm going to maintain that position. I want to kind of squeeze out against my belly so that I've created some sort of tension there. Fantastic. You've got that part braced. Now I want you to pull your shoulders back so your shoulders are active when you do this. So belly button is tight, shoulders are back and active. My chest is going to stay up the entire time. I am braced like that whenever I'm squatting. Next part is my feet. All right, so for my feet, we're a huge fan of toes forward squatting in the gym. All right, and what I mean by toes forward squatting is definitely not a plie style position. So I don't want to see this big duck foot out at all. Toes forward for us is anything from straight ahead to about, I'm not going to get a measuring device and measure it, but 30 degrees tops. All right, not going to go any more than that at all. The reason is, same thing I said earlier about sport, is if I see an athlete playing sport and their feet are wide open like this, they've already lost the battle. All right, they can't move side to side. They can't move forward and backward at all. This is not an athletic position to be in whatsoever. And then from a more scientific standpoint, the amount of torque force you can create kind of in your hips isn't nearly as good as if your toes are more pointed straight ahead. All right, so now that I got my toes pointed straight ahead, what do I do with my feet? All right, I want you to imagine that there's a line, so like a sheet of paper in between your feet, and I'm trying to rip that paper apart with just my feet. All of my foot is on the ground, but I'm trying to spread the ground apart with my feet. All right, so there my feet are spreading the ground apart the entire time I'm squatting. All right, I've got my brace position up here. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the side again so you can see this. All right, so feet are spreading the ground apart, braced upper body position, going to keep that chest upright. Now my first movement is my hips are going to slide back. All right, so hips slide back without losing that brace position. So if my just kind of butt sticks out and my back loses that brace position, this is going to hurt me in the long run. So what I want to do is I want to drive my hips back while keeping that brace position. And as I start to drive those hips back, all right, I'm going to squat, going to let my knees flex a little bit, and I'm going to sit to this bottom position of the squat. All right, I have my hands out just for this habit for me. But in this bottom position, you see my chest is still up, my back is still nice and tight, and ideal depth for us is where my hip creases is going to sit below how tall my knee is. So again, I'm going to brace up real quick, going to spread the ground apart with my feet, I'm going to drive my hips back, and I'm going to sit to this bottom position. Notice where my shoulders are in relation to my feet. All right, this is going to be kind of the force of gravity. Imagine I've got a bar right here or a bar in the front. All right, so I've got a bar on my back. As I squat down, this bar is over the middle part of my foot. All right, now I can apply force directly through my heel to stand straight up. All right, so I'm going to show you from the front this time now. Same thing, brace, feet are basically pointed straight ahead. Imagine if you have a bar. If not, I'm going to drive my hips back first, sitting to this bottom part of the squat here. In this bottom position, if I spread the ground apart with my feet, I don't have to worry about my knees. My knees are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We see a lot of times knees cave in because of the ankle kind of rolling in too. So I'm going to spread the ground apart with those feet. Look what magically happens to my knees. I'm able to squat a little bit better. So that pushing the ground apart is going to keep my knees in line with my toes, in line with my hips. Everything's going to control nice and easy. So no matter what weight is on your back, overhead, on the front, doesn't matter. I'm trying to keep my shoulders where that weight is located over the middle part of my foot as I'm squatting up and down. Hips always going to go back before the knees really bend, all right? And I'm going to focus on driving through my heels, maybe even the midfoot as I go up and down. All right, biggest takeaways from this, spread the ground apart with the feet to keep the ankle straight and the knee straight. Keep that torso upright as you squat. All right, this is how to squat Hyperformance Athletics. If you guys have any comments, please make sure you post them below. You can always subscribe to the Hyperform videos up. Just click the link on top and get everything we've done so far. All right, have a good day, guys.